Yes, indeed. It is called nostalgaia, where the— Wait! Cut! Was that your customization screen? Oh, almighty save me. I don't know what you are, but you're no hero. So, I'm not playing the intro.
Hello everybody, Mr. Pilgrim here, coming at you with a brand new Platinum Trophy guide, and that is going to be for the last hero of Nostalgaia. This guide will go over how to get basically all of the weapons, all of the NPC quest lines, all of the runes, just everything that is important that you need in each area as we go through, as well as where and what to do to progress certain NPC quest lines, as well as one of the two choices on NPC quest lines that you have to do that results in certain endings. I'll go over all of that in each episode as we go through each area as it becomes important. This guide will work for both PS4 and PS5, so you don't need to watch different versions. They're basically the same game. So like normally how I do this is I go through each area. It will show you where to go, how to progress through the area, how to unlock shortcuts, where to pick up certain items, and where to remember items, which I'll go over when that becomes important here in the tutorial area, and go over everything involving that. And do note, certain trophies will have their own dedicated videos for them, like all remembrances. So even though I will show you where to get some remembrances as I'm going throughout each area, I will only grab certain ones that are important that you need for quest lines. The rest I will then go back for, that way you can see me remembering them and all of that good stuff. So like always, I'm going to go through, and if there's any important trophies to talk about, I will show you guys, and yeah. Alrighty, so moving on forward and heading through the starting area, you'll just get acquainted with the game. There are 3 trophies I'm going to talk about while going through this area that are related to specific actions. The first of which is just to get 20 backstabs, not too crazy. In this first area over here, if you come off to the right, you'll find a green herb, which basically, as you'll see up in the top left, it is a slow healing item. The next trophy I want to talk about is in relation to parrying and riposting. So certain shields, as you'll see, have the deflect ability, and others will have a rebuff ability. The rebuff will be its own thing. Since I don't have a shield that can rebuff, I will wait and go over that a little bit later. But it is just in regards to blocking. So coming out here into this nice open area, you're going to want to follow this around off to the right. And in here will be a tougher enemy that you'll have to face, but don't worry, he's not too bad. And back here you'll have a memory of an NPC. But in regards to the parrying and riposting, basically, like I said, some shields allow you to parry certain attacks. So you'll just have to do that, and then you can get close to the enemy and press R1 and you'll perform a riposte. That will be another trophy to work on as well. So following this around, we're going to come off of here over to the left. We'll grab the Gilded Axe, which is just slightly better than what we are using, but I like our dagger. Coming up here, we'll have some more access. Access is more or less the consumable up in the top left underneath your stamina bar that has various effects that you can use. So coming here up onto this second floor, you'll follow this path pretty much straight forward to find the Dagger of Cycles, which I think is a slight upgrade to what we have, so we'll put it on. Now, one thing I should mention, as you'll see, the question mark underneath special abilities is in regards to remembering weapons, but since we don't have the ability to remember, we'll just hold off on that. Like I said, I'll go over it in more detail. So coming off here over to the left, you'll have our first codes. Basically what these are is These are consumables that use access and have a certain scaling or skill required to use them. The shuriken, I think, is the easiest one to
You know what
obtain
I
and
think?
use.
I think the world is sick, and you're like the final pixelated tumor. The narrator vowed to save the world. The narrator vowed to cut
this
you
guy.
from it.
But as we make our way up, we're going to first hold off and stop right here.
Suddenly, a simple sentry transformed
Come
into
on.
an
There we
impossible
go.
adversary. One written to crush the stick figure on sight.
These enemies aren't too tough. I'll basically go over how to fight them now. They're not too bad, like I said. If you basically just get close enough, basically let them swing first, or if you get this move, you can basically, like so, and you're good to go. We'll use our other herb. Now off to the left over here, we'll have a sliver of tradition. These are basically your upgrade materials. Coming up here, we'll just lure all of these guys back. Wait for him to attack. Go for just 2 normal R2s. Will give you a decent stagger. Here you'll get the Hall of Heroes staging room key. I will go over where that is.
A beacon.
Here we'll have our
A
bonfire.
conduit through which heroes once communed with nostalgaia. Don't you dare lay your pixels upon it.
Well, we're gonna do just that anyways, because screw that guy. Now, as of this point, we don't have any trophies
By
yet.
the Almighty. Impossible. You're... What in the... Oh... You... Now,
Anyways, the narrator will basically just not be on our side for a good while. So the first thing I want to check at the beacon is, can I level up at least 5 times? No, but that's okay. We're going to first go backwards into that staging area that I mentioned to grab some more items before moving on. Alrighty, so right here we'll find the locksmith's serrated saw, which we're going to swap to. Then from here we're going to head down and off to the left, going backwards. Over here, just to our right, you'll find some more access. Like I said, just consumables. Coming in here into the NPC city area, we will eventually unlock the ability to go into this room and deal with items similar to that. But for now, come off to the right. In here, just to the right of the chest, you will find our first rune. These are basically, I guess, rings that you would consider. You can have at least 2 of them, and in here you'll find a chest with a fireplace stone. Think of these as homeward bones. You use one and you'll go back to the last beacon that you had lit up or rested at. From here we'll head down, grab this item right here, and as you'll see, this shortcut door leads back to where we fought that first big guy, as you'll see right there. But now I'm going to head back and go over the next 2 trophies that I want to show you guys before we fight the first boss of the game. Alright, once you guys are back here at the beacon, as you see I have a little over 5,000 memory or souls. What I'm going to confirm first is, can I level up at least 5 times with what I have? If that's the case, before doing that, you'll want to come over here and let this axe enemy kill you, and that will get you the first trophy, or the first 2 trophies of the game. One for dying, getting you the trophy It's a Soulslike, and the second one, which is a secret trophy for at least dying with at least 5 memory, getting you the Such Salt trophy.
And so the stick figure proved its ineptitude.
But since we're so close to the beacon when we died, it's not like it's too much of a hassle to get them back. Now that will lead us into our next trophy that I'm going to show you, and that is for at least leveling up 5 times in one go. So we're just going to walk and grab this. There we go. Rest back at the beacon. Then we're going to level up. Now, as you've seen, I picked the Thief class with basically going for dexterity and luck. I am going to eventually be swapping over a few times to upgrade some other stats based on what I need, but the main stat I'm going to be focusing on leveling up is luck to get better items, more souls sometimes, increase my damage, and all that stuff, which I'll show you how you can see how luck will play. So if you go into your menu and go to the player stats, as you'll see on the right hand side you have 2 options, your insight and then you have your luck bonuses. As you can see, basically all of the luck bonuses that go all the way up to level 45, which is probably what I'm going to try and shoot for. At 24, basically the 2 times memory is pretty nice, healing costs nothing, stamina recovery, you know, it's all pretty good. But now from here we're going to move on and take on the first boss of the game and get our next trophy. Once ready, we'll head inside.
You are not worthy.
And we'll receive the blessing.
No! The hero was rejected! No! The spirit had a final form! A final form!
As you can see overall though, he's not too tough. This doesn't give you a lot of chances to attack whenever he's doing his combos. And his AoE does hurt quite a lot. Also throw some shurikens. And that will finish him off. And that'll get us our 4th trophy of the game. And we'll get the Shield of Inspiration. Now from here we can move on into our Firelink Shrine of Sorts.
The spirit's blessing is... 'twas undeniable that the scattered bundle of sticks remained pathetic, but something was amiss. The narrator, never confused, was curious.
Here we have our next beacon, and we have our next NPC.
Look up ahead, but that's look to the jagged.
So as you'll see, he'll now teach us about remembering items. As you'll see, if you are next to a area or specific location that requires a chest piece or weapon to be remembered, then you can see the description and you can remember the item as long as you see that it is shaking. For this run, we're going to go for remembering all items, as that is a trophy. As you'll see that basically remembering items basically makes them better overall.
Remark you that we hit that they know who they the first. Good luck.
Now, before we move on, what you want to do is actually come down here, and we have our second item that we can remember just in here. And that is that shield that we got. This is important for an NPC questline, so that's why we're remembering it now. We don't want to have to trek all the way back here later on just to remember it, so just keep that in mind. In here we can also find a chest off to the left for a message box. Now then, from here going forward, it's basically just going to be me showing you how to progress through the area. There's not a boss in the next area, so don't have to worry about that. Here we have our next set of gear that we're going to equip. Like I said, whenever it comes to remembering certain pieces of equipment, it will tell you that if you don't know where it is, like you can see on the chest piece that we have right now, we don't know where it is, but when we do discover that area, it will then tell you that that's where you can remember it. And then the secondary piece of advice that will show you is the flavor text at the bottom is what will give you the exact hint in regards to remembering certain items. So just keep that in mind. But I'll come back to all that in the dedicated video to remembering everything after our first playthrough before heading into New Game Plus. So from here we're just going to rest, reset, and then move on through Oreshaft Village, the next area. So yeah. From here we're just going to follow the one and only path that we can take, heading off to the left here. Waiting for this loading screen. There we go. Follow this down. I'd definitely say the one improvement I think the game might need is a better fast travel system. But I'll go over that when the time comes. Now we've made it to Oreshaft Village. So first and foremost, if we come off here over to the left, we can come inside this building here and head up. And in here we can find Ruined Boastful Mug. Basically, more crits on top of the luck that we have that already gives us more crits, which is nice. Then we can come back down, follow this path out, and just over here off to the left is our next beacon. And as you'll see, just behind us over on the bench is that NPC dude that taught us how to remember. Talk to him to progress him. Like most NPCs, you want to make sure that you just exhaust all of their dialogue. Before we move on, we'll come up here and grab this item, the Unburdened. Basically my favorite weapon. 9 strength, 5 dex. Okay. That's alright. But from here, what we're going to do is move on through the main path. So coming off here into this area, we'll want to head up the steps to grab this item, Legend of Independence, and then we'll come here, and before heading inside, if we come off to the right, there'll be another one of those big armored guys, and he's protecting a full armor set. So like I said before, you now have 2 tabs that are in regards to leveling up your remembrances and your luck stats. Like I said, sorry about that, like I said, for now we're just going to focus on getting the luck stat and any important remembrances. That way I can show you guys all of the remembrances and all of that when the time comes. So now we're going to head inside and off to the right. We'll come inside. We'll have another fireplace stone, and then we'll come up here, and we'll grab another code. This one basically allows you to create a field around you that does continuous damage to any enemy that is close enough to you. Pretty cool. Coming outside here and off to the right, we'll unlock our first shortcut of the area right here, which leads right back down to where we just were. But before we continue, if we instead head through here and off to the right, we have a unique NPC right here called the Innocent One. We will be doing his quest line, so he is important.
Golly, aren't the... do you... One day, talking... Hello.
Once you've exhausted his dialogue, we'll just move on. For now, he's not going to move from that spot, so just take note of that, as we will be coming back to it. But for now, we'll come up here, come off to the right to grab this item right here. And then we'll come over here, and we can grab this item. Another memory or so drop down, and we're going to use this house as our next starting point going forward. Now, heading inside, we can basically just come in here, and up top you can snipe the new armored enemy with your shurikens, and basically take them out before they reach you. And then you can drop down here for your next set of armor, and another fireplace stone. Moving on through this area here, behind this little bar, you'll find another NPC, basically just soul consumables. Coming out and off to the right, we'll find the Edge of Entropy. This is an important item we'll need for later, so just hold on to it. From here, we're going to work in a clockwise fashion around the square. So coming off here, off to the left, we'll have our shopkeep right here, who needs us to find something and bring back to him. From here, we're going to head down here. There's more of the new armored enemies and the big armored enemies down this pathway. So if this is something you don't want to come down and do and just want to know what's down here, then I'm going to show you. This is an area we will be coming back to towards the end of the game, so just take a note of it. So from here we have the Covert Cultist cover. Long. Then if we come down here, we have our next weapon we can grab. Just right here in front of the weird octopus face. The Demon Tear Jerker. Like I said, any and all remembrances are going to be done in the video. You can get them while you can. Like I said, just checking is what's best when you're in certain areas, or you can read the description like I've stated. But we're going to move on now and head back up and unlock our blacksmith. Definitely a bit of a jog. But from here, if we continue following this clockwise and head into here, first we'll head into this back room right here, get a sliver of tradition, then we'll come over here and grab the smith's hammer.
Such ruin. Such waste. What did you find?
From here, you can basically remember the smith's hammer.
What did you... the smith's throughout of all miners. Should you limit might even ain't much.
So now we have our blacksmith, and we just need to find him an anvil, and that will allow us to level up our weapons. Moving on here into the square, we'll have the giant statue, which has some meat in front of it. Then from here, we'll just come off onto the right side into this building here. Now, we'll unlock that door later on, so don't worry. Coming into here, there is an ambush, but coming off to the right, we'll have a chest with some loaded die. These will temporarily increase your item discovery or item drop chance. And then coming off across into this little hallway, we'll have a fireplace stone and an NPC souls. Now we can follow this up and around. Once again, another door we'll have to come back to. But in here off to the left, we can grab the Legend of Independence and then continue following this upper area around. It's more or less pretty straightforward for now. Just before this NPC, we'll have another NPC. We'll talk to this guy. We'll come back to him much later, so just ignore him for now, and then follow this path forward. Here we'll have our next armor sets, and then just across from us we have a shortcut door back to the previous area. Now from here we can just follow this around. We'll want to first come inside this building right here and follow this up. And just over here we have another memory of an NPC. Don't believe there's anything else down here. And then nothing down below. So now we'll head back on outside. And just in this building off to our left, we can grab the Caliber of Memory. Then from here, just inside this barn, we have our next somewhat NPC-like mini-boss to fight and deal with. Once ready though, we can head inside and take him. As you can see though, using our R2 attacks, he goes down fairly easily, and we'll get his helmet as a reward. Then from here we can just head on up. We have a interesting NPC right here that we're not going to do his questline for on this playthrough, but we are going to be somewhat interacting with him for the time being. So you can talk to him.
And with anywho, then the first all you I can't that must.
We'll interact with him a few more times before we stop interacting with him, so just keep that in mind.
Wobbled and climbed, ever eager to reach some height unsuited to it.
From here we'll have our next beacon. Ta-da! Now before ending this episode, we're going to grab the Manacles and the Legend of Independence, and there's a few things first that we're going to want to do. So we're just going to come over here to this little bridge, and we'll grab this item right here. Power Star and Sliver of Tradition. Then we're going to come back over here behind the house. Just next to this bridge we have a ladder which will lead all the way back down. Once it loads, of course. Ta-da! As you'll see, we then have the shortcut door I talked about earlier. But for now, what we just simply want to do is drop down. And we're going to come over here to our shopkeep and give him the Manacles or Manacles. And now we have our shop. This is going to be important as there is a certain point in the game that he will become unavailable, and I will mention that when the time comes.
Well.
But as you can see, basically what you want to do is buy basically everything from him when you can. So The torch, I would say you don't need to worry about. You will be given one later on, but for now you want to get the vibrating sword. Want to grab the noble epine. You'll want to grab the shield of nostalgaia. You'll want to grab this code. You want to grab basically all of the runes that he has. And obviously, whenever it comes to remembering armor pieces, sadly, you do need to have all of the pieces to learn it, which is a bit annoying, I know. We'll use some of our consumables, and we'll basically buy the last piece here. Now, like I said, you basically want to make sure that you grab everything from him. And do note that whenever it says give keys, I will go over that in detail whenever we find that item. But for now, once you have everything, we can head back up and be on our merry little way and end this first episode. Like always, though, I do hope that these videos and guides are helpful or informative in any way, shape, or form. As always, this has been Mr. Pilgrim. I do hope that this is more or less a re-upload. I realized I had messed up on the first one, so I'm going to be redoing these first 7 videos, and then number 8 will be a lot better. But that is where we're going to end it for now, and I'll see you all in the next video. Peace out.